What is up, everyone? This is your boy AJ Trip coming at you with a top 10 list. Comes from When I just started, what I decided to do was, I've been doing like these those things where I had a written blog, and it was on Blogspot, things like that. I had a written blog, and then So then what I started doing these other videos. I started doing started taking those and putting them on here. I would call them, what's the word according to me and everything. That's what the name of the blog was, and that's what the name of my blogs are on here. So started doing that, and like the last final few of my written blogs were basically just my top 10 list that I had posted from Ranker, things like that. So like the last few things I have are like the quarterbacks and the top 10 quarterbacks and running backs and things like that, and the top 10 NBA players. So I have those left. So what I decided to do was that I go ahead this week. I'm going to save them for this week, and then I will do I'll do one on a day top 10 lists for the NFL. And then I would save the NBA for start the NBA season. And then I would be done with I'd be done with my written blog, and then I would finally just go ahead and delete that more than likely. There's part of me that should keep it just to go back to it, but it's kind of like whatever, right? Because I got this now, so I don't need to like write stuff anymore. So, all right, and one thing, if you're watching this and you've been watching most of my videos, and you know that I do these opens, and there was no open to this video where the editing software that I use, Cyberlink, for some reason has gone crazy. It did this early in the year where it just took all of my things away. It actually started like when I think it happened when I first got the big new computer, and I had tried to transfer my stuff from the old one to the new from the laptop to the desktop, and my stuff didn't show up at first, and then it took like a little while for it to show up. So and then when it showed up, I had two of them. So who knows? So I'm gonna wait a little bit. If it doesn't show up for this video, something like that, I'm gonna wait a little bit. We'll wait a month, and if it hasn't shown up by the first or second day in October, then I will create some new ones, and we'll see how the fuck that goes. But otherwise, we're just gonna go with this. This is a word according to me, and a top 10 list. So you can go ahead and put those just right there into the into those playlists, like I always do. So, but never mind. Here we go. Let's start the week off. We're going to do Monday today, the top 10 defensive players. Tuesday, tomorrow, we're going to do the top wide receivers. We're going to do Wednesday, the top running backs. Thursday, the top quarterbacks. And then Friday, special one, is going to be the top 10/15 Chicago Bears. So that should be fun for everybody to enjoy, get you ready for football season. But now let's go ahead and let's go to our list. As you can see over here on the left side, we have our list. Those are the top 10 that I ranked. And let's go. Boom. Number 10. Derek Thomas. I think Derek Thomas was a fantastic player. He holds the record for most sacks in a single game. Unfortunately, he died tragically. I think he probably still had 3 or 4 good years left in him. He was a terrific player. He was a terrific pass rusher. And when you watch his NFL special on the NFL Network, A Football Life, truly was. It seemed to be truly a good man, and I think that's something to to go home to. So number 10, Derek Thomas. Number 9 is Rod Woodson. I think Rod Woodson was a great player. Back in his early days, he would also kick and punt return, which was amazing to watch. And there's a thing back in college. Apparently, back in college, he played at Purdue. Apparently, there was one game where he did like everything. He threw a pass, he caught a ball, he ran the ball, and then he also made an interception. And he has like a kick return at Purdue. So he did like everything in college. So he was a tremendous athlete back in the day. And he showed that in Pittsburgh. And he went on and I believe he went on and played for Baltimore, Oakland, and maybe even San Francisco as well. But Rod Woodson, a tremendous player, an awesome guy. I know some people are gonna probably go and say, well, wait a minute, you have him ahead of Mel Blount, but I kind of think that this is, I kind of think that Mel was going to degrade Mel Blount and his things and things like that, but I do think some of the things you have to look at is that the different times and era, and Mel Blount was back in the day. I'm more willing to give the receivers more credit for past performances than I will the defensive backs. The defensive backs they could munch you. There wasn't the illegal contact or even holding. I mean, they could grab you and basically as long as they didn't interfere with you, they could do anything they wanted to you on that field. So listen, I think Mel Blount is a fantastic player and all of that, but I just think that a couple of other people, defensive backs, cornerbacks on this list is better. I would probably put if this was a top 10 cornerbacks, I would probably say Darrell Green is probably that, and maybe even like Aeneas Williams, and maybe even a few others, maybe Dick Night Train Lane as well. So definitely a lot, and I think maybe at some point in the future, these are just defensive players, but I think so at some point in the future, I will separate them, and I will go like defensive line, linebackers, and cornerbacks and safeties or something like that. I may do that. Like I had the offense split up, and I will add like tight ends for the offense. So I may do that as well. And maybe even kickers and punters, who knows? But whatever. But number 9 on the list of top defensive players of all time, Rod Woodson. Number 8, Bruce Smith, the all-time sack leader. He unfortunately never got that Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills, the Four Falls of Buffalo. Great 30 for 30. Always go ahead and watch that. But I think Bruce Smith was a dominant player, and he did most of his damage from the 3-4. It was a 3-4 defense. Normally we know the 3-4 end to basically kind of almost be like a run stopper. The 3-4 end is what the defensive tackle is in the 4-3, and basically just there to stop the run. But if you can rush the passer, that's good too. And Bruce Smith, he was able to rush the passer. He got so many sacks from that position, it was amazing. So, and that's truly amazing. Bruce Smith, number 8 on my list of top 10 defensive players of all time. Number 7 is Ronnie Lott. As Ronnie Lott started off at cornerback, moved to safety, and he was the originator of the woo hit. And he came up with that term when he used to be a broadcaster. He said, on that movie, he said, that's a woo hit. And the guy doing the play-by-play guy said, what's a woo hit? When you hit him and you make it go, woo! So, yeah, so he was the inventor of the woo hit and everything like that. We always know the story that, he got the pinky cut off or something like that. And it was actually even a story that's not really true. It was like the whole pinky not cut off, just some of it, the tip of it was cut off or something like that, whatever. But it shows you just how tough and how mad he was, and he was a dominant player, and it showed on the field, and he was just amazing to watch and really amazing to see, and major part of that San Francisco 49ers defense that helped them win 3 Super Bowls in the 80s. 4 Super Bowls actually in the 80s. Actually, I think it's right, because it was 82. Then it was like what? It was like 82. It was like 82, 84. Right? Or 80? Was it 81? Yeah, it was 81. It was 81 or 82. Then it was 84 because they won it before the Bears, and then they came back and they won it back to back in 88 and 89. So, but yeah, they were just absolutely dominant, and Brian Lott was a big part of that. So Brian Lott, number 7 on my list of the greatest defensive players in NFL history. Number 6 is Joe Green, Mean Joe Green. Most people know Mean Joe Green now because of his Coca-Cola commercial. Now the Coca-Cola commercial has been passed on for generations and generations. And you see it every year during the Super Bowl when they do the great commercials of all time and things like that. So you always see it. So that's what Mean Joe Green is known for right now. But listen, you know that Joe Green was a dominant defensive tackle, and he was an amazing player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was one of the anchors of that defense. Talked about Mel Blount earlier, and Jack Lambert and Jack Ham and everything like that. And then there was Joe Green on the line doing his thing, and Joe Green was good. Now I wasn't alive to see it live, but I don't need to be alive to see it live to know, what Joe Green was and what Joe Green did. And I saw I watched a lot of NFL footage in the past and in the future, and I have a lot of respect for what he did. So Joe Green is number 6 on my list. And this guy also did not watch this, but again, you talked about what it was. He was probably he's the unofficial sack leader because the sack didn't become a stat in 1981. But there's talking about that he had like 35 sacks in the season, and he's got like 300 sacks for his entire career. Right, so Bruce Smith is the official sack leader, and Michael Strahan is the official single season sack leader, but unofficially it's Deacon Jones. So I think it was definitely he definitely on the list. He's part of the fearsome foursome of the Rams defense back in those days, and he was a hellacious pass rusher. He came up with the head slap, which is now illegal, but you would run up the field, you would apparently slap him in the head and slap him this way, then push him out the way, and then go and get that quarterback, and he was a master of it. And so you can't do it now, obviously. You couldn't do it, like they outlawed it like in the 90s, and obviously you can't do it now stuff with all the concussions and everything, but this was, without question, I think Deacon Jones was an amazing guy, and he was actually funny too. He's actually very funny. He's one of those get off my lawn guys. He really was. Back in the day, he always talked about get off my lawn. He had everything to say, and he was very opinionated. But more importantly, he was a great football player, and he was definitely a great man. We also, there's another one we lost way too soon. But Deacon Jones, number 5 on our list of the greatest defensive players of all time. Another one we lost very soon was Reggie White. You want to talk about something? Now, his was on the. Now he didn't do the head slap. He did the shoulder thing, but there were a lot of things where he would take that. That's how strong he was. He would take his hand and just throw him out the way with one shoulder and go and get that quarterback. And he was mostly a defensive end, but there was sometimes he'd go into that defensive tackle spot and he'd even be more dominant because the guards and the centers, they couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle that strength. He get there and get the quarterback and then sack him, and he was amazing to watch. He was a part of the first free agency. Remember, a really true free agency in the NFL. He was a Philadelphia Eagle, and then he said that God told him to go to Green Bay. Most people say, but the money so told you to go to Green Bay. But he was fantastic. I thought he was amazing and everything like that. We all know, unfortunately, about his one apparently thing. He made a mistake at the Green Bay assembly. I guess you can't blame him for that. He was basically using stereotypes for his thing, unfortunately. But the message was a good message at the heart of it. But unfortunately, he just used stereotypes to do his thing. So if he just would have kept it on one way, it would have been good. But that's off the field. We're just talking about here on the field. And Reggie White was, I think, he was probably, and even though I say Deacon Jones second, I'm probably going to say that maybe, again, because of the era that he played in, he was, Deacon Jones maybe was going up against lesser talent, definitely. Deacon Jones could have played in any era. And I think Reggie White could have as well, but I think Deacon Jones probably played against lesser talent than Reggie White. So that's why I put Reggie White number 4, and that's why I also think he may be the best defensive lineman of all time, and definitely one of the best players in NFL history as well. So we're talking about Reggie White, number 4, on my list of the top 10 defensive players in NFL history. Number 3, Dick Butkus. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, listen. Once again, another person that I was not allowed to see. But growing up in Chicago, I didn't need to. I heard of the stories of Dick Butkus, and I watched all of the film, all of the video, and Dick Butkus running up there, and there's a video there where he's holding his hands and they're kind of bloody and in the cold, and he's taken, but he can't. He get that look on his face of just total annihilation, and the things that he did and the things he did to people on that field. Oh, you can't do now. But Dick Butkus was a man, and he was amazing as a football player, and he was best little linebacker in the game, and I don't think that's undisputed. That's undisputed. I don't think there's no one better than Dick Butkus, and so that's him, and he's the best of all time. At least in the middle linebacker position. But overall defense, obviously, as you can see, he's number 3 on my list, and that's good. You will see him later. You will see him later this week in my obviously top 10/15 Chicago Bears list. So be sure to watch that on Friday. Number 2, Deion Sanders. Now some people get on Deion for making business decisions instead of tackling, and for being flashy and flamboyant and being maybe more about himself than he was a team or anything like that. And and doing the rap videos and the Atlanta Falcons. And by the way, there's a timeline on NFL Network, the show Timeline, that's going to be about the 1991 Atlanta Falcons, which I cannot wait to see, because that was prime Hammer time, and that was, man, the 91 Falcons were it was like from 90 to 92. Those 3 seasons, the Atlanta Falcons were, I don't think they were good, but they were entertaining as hell. so it's going to be fun to watch that. But we're talking about Deion Sanders. I really think, listen, and Deion Sanders may be my favorite NFL player. It's not a Chicago Bear. Because number 1 is obviously Walton or Peyton. And that's just it. But he might be number 2, but he might be, honestly, it's, wow. See, I don't even know. The part that's probably the one to say that he is our favorite, because he wasn't our favorite. Because I love the fact, as much as I loved Walter, Deion, he had my attention. I wanted to watch the Falcons and the 49ers and the Cowboys because of Deion. I wanted to see him catch that ball on and then go like this and then start high stepping. Prime time. I mean, I wanted that so bad, and it is just, I wanted to see him so bad, and I just had so much fun watching. And I think he made a great statement at his Hall of Fame. He said that people said that he didn't tackle, but he tackled every one of his bills for his mother, and that's why he did what he did. And so, and you can't blame him for that. So I think Deion Sanders, and besides, when you talk about on the field stuff, right? They never threw to him. I mean, he went over there and teams decided, I'm not going to throw on that side. Half the field was cut for the quarterbacks. They threw on one side, they threw in the middle and on one side. The other people just took him. Whoever he covered, they took out the game unless it was like a star, like Jerry Rice or Michael Irvin or somebody, Chris Carter. Otherwise, they weren't throwing to that side. They were moving people to the other side. And if Deion moved with them, then maybe they put him in the slot or something, whatever. They did something to try to get that star wide receiver open. So it is what it is. I think he is definitely the best cornerback. When you lock in defensive backs together, best defensive back, best cornerback, just the second best defensive player of all time, without question. I don't think there's any question to it in my eyes. Deion Sanders. And the number one guy, Lawrence Taylor. He went out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and had some fun. And he would get by there and he sacked the quarterback and he could cover and he could stop the run. He was a man on a mission, and he was so dominant. It was amazing to see, and it was unfortunate. I think his time may have gotten cut short too, because near the end of his thing in the 1990 season, maybe it was 90. I think it was 90, where or 91. I can't remember, but whatever season it was, he went up trying to get down a ball and he tore his Achilles tendon, and he was out for the year. And I think that shortened his career. I think if he didn't get injured, he could have maybe played another 2-3 years. But I think the injury hurt him, and then he doesn't maybe wasn't back to where he was and where he used to be, and he had to retire. But man, he was dominant to watch, and it was amazing, and he was a major part of the 2 championship teams for the New York Giants. And even though he never won the MVP of the Super Bowl, you can definitely see that he was definitely a player. He's the only defensive player to win MVP in the last since he came in as a rookie, 1981. He was the only person to win the MVP. He won many defensive players here, but he's the only one to win the MVP. I'm almost certain of that. I have to go back and check and make sure, but I'm almost certain of that. And actually, okay, so I just checked, and going back to 1957, that would be 60 years. Going back 60 years, the AP NFL MVP award has been given to 2 defensive players. Alan Page in 1971 and Lawrence Taylor in 1986. Those are the only 2 defensive players to win the AP NFL MVP award. So, and also a kicker won it back like in 82 or something like that. So that's also one of the things. Like you at a bar, like who's the only kicker to win the NFL MVP? It's Mark Mosley. So you can win a bunch of money with your friends at that. So I told you that, so make sure you do that, okay? But I'm talking about here about Lawrence Taylor and just how a fantastic player he is. Again, the only defensive player to win in the past 40 some odd years. So just he's a dominant player. He truly was, and it was something spectacular to watch. Once again, he went out there like a bunch of crazy dogs, and he had some fun. And that's, to me, makes him the number 1 defensive player of all time. So yeah, that's it. That's my list. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let's see, who do you think I got the list right? Who do you think you can go and make up and things like that? Did I miss anybody? Whatever. You can show all your opinions. Also, down in the description box will be a link to my Ranker, page and things like that. Now you can go on Ranker, you sign up, make an account, and you can rank your own list as well. You can take my list and then re-rank it for your own list. So if you want to make your own list, that's good too. Make your own list, and then after you do it, post that list down into the comment section so that everybody can go and read it yourself. So things like that. There was no like for the wide receivers and the running backs and the quarterbacks. There was it was an all-time list. There was an all-time list. So I re-ranked it from that. So later on the weeks when you go do those, you can also re-rank those the main list and then do your own list over that as well. So that should be something interesting to see. So yeah, there we go. The top 10 defensive players of all time. I want to let's do this. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good.